Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Samri.
Welcome to the Chopsticks,
Chopsticks
and
and
Fork,
Fork,
Please
please.
podcast. Yeah, so you went into the middle of the woods
In Minnesota.
for about a week.
Oh, it was an
Roughly.
8-day.
Oh, okay. So a week and a half. And you came back alive. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm not a widow.
They have this thing, speaking of widow,
Yeah.
where like if a tree falls the wrong way because of like cutting it a wrong way or
Yeah.
not like noticing which way the tree leans, it's called a widowmaker.
Oh, dang.
I was like,
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, because that lands on someone, then like they're dead.
yeah. A widow because.
Yeah. So what?
So, I'll talk about everything involved with like preparing for it
Mhm.
and then what my experience was during the skiing and dog sledding
Yeah.
trip in Minnesota at the Boundary Waters.
Okay.
And then the post, like what happened,
Yeah, during and then
the end.
after. So let me ask you, what made you look at the like winter survival class and being like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
So I didn't think of it as like a survival course. I thought of it more as like, oh, now I'll have like so many cool memories and
Okay.
I'll get a lot of stuff for my, for this AmeriCorps
Yeah.
Education Award spending.
Okay. So when I looked at that class description, I was like, this is a survival course.
Oh, okay.
So when we were prepping for you, my prep, my helping you prep was more for like, yeah, you need to like have like certain thing, certain things, because you're gonna be like in the middle of the woods, probably sleeping. Like I thought it was gonna be a tent, but apparently you didn't even have tents.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought so too.
Yeah,
But
like,
it was just tarps.
yeah, and I was like thinking like, yeah, you need to be warm, and then also I was like, dang, okay, like I was like, you can do it. I was like, you could probably do it. I was like, you can do
You weren't confident in me. You were worried.
I was a little bit worried, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually when we go camping, I tend to do everything. I tend to do everything for you. I tend to do everything. But I was like, I was like thinking like, you can do it though. Not fun. But you were thinking it was going to be a lot easier than like expecting.
Yeah. I didn't read reviews because it's just not part of my
You like to just go
process?
into things
Yeah, I just,
without
like,
planning, but that can
Yeah.
backfire too sometimes.
Like when I watch movies, I don't like
Yeah.
looking at the previews.
Yeah, but like certain things like looking up like what you're going to do for a class and like preparing for
Well, I did read the description
Yeah,
and
yeah.
read what we're going to do every day.
Mhm.
But they didn't talk about, oh yeah, it's gonna be super cold and your skin is gonna crack up and get
Yeah.
dry and
Mhm.
you're going to poop outdoors and
Yeah.
when you remove your pants,
Yeah.
your ass is gonna freeze.
Yeah, because the thing is, for me too, another thing was it's a week-long excursion. And I just
Yeah.
for me, I'm just like that immediately makes me think you're gonna be out there for like a week, like in the wilderness for a week, and like it didn't seem like there was a home base, like they were going from like you would be sleeping in like you'd be out there for a week, which is like hard to do, right?
Oh, okay.
Like I tend to watch a lot of survival shows
Oh, okay.
too, and like I was just thinking like, oh yeah, that's gonna be rather hardcore.
Yeah, definitely. I could have been in one of those shows. I was thinking about that. I was like, I wish there were like camera crews.
I don't want that. I hate that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want that for like my personal like journey. Right?
Yeah, because maybe if I see people who've been sleeping indoors,
Yeah.
getting in my face with cameras, I
Yeah.
would be pissed off.
Oh no, the camera crew also has to do the survival stuff too. In the
Really?
shows. Yeah. It's like one of those things like well, there's the guy Bear Grylls who like does those like survival things of like, oh, he's out there and for like a week and stuff like that. The camera crew also has to do like that stuff too.
Like they eat the bugs.
Yeah,
with
they have
them.
to eat the bugs too.
Oh. Okay.
Like they get some stuff, but like they end up having to like do some of the stuff, like do some of the stuff too, right? Because they have like all the camera equipment and like that's already heavy enough, so like they usually don't have the room to like carry other stuff too.
I'm sure they have wall tents.
Yeah, yeah, they do have They do have tents.
Yeah,
Comparison.
they call them wall tents, at
Yeah.
least in the course I took.
Mm-hmm.
So to talk about the preparation,
Mm-hmm.
I went to the gym more often.
Yeah.
I took more classes.
Yeah.
I did like an ab workout you made
Yeah.
me do.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
I
you-
asked you.
Yeah, you
for
asked
it.
me for an ab workout. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can.
I think that was helpful.
Yeah, core is always a good thing to work out.
Yeah.
'Cause-
I mean, what I would say I wish I did
Yeah.
was weight training.
Yeah.
Lifting weights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lifting
Yeah.
weights helps out a lot in a lot of different like things, right? You don't have to like power lift or anything, but like
Yeah, yeah.
building up your strength is always good to just do things day to day.
Yeah. 2 to 40 pounds each hand
Yeah.
would have been helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, yeah, I think just the weight training aspect, I wish I did more. And then as well as like adjusting my sleep schedule
Yeah.
to be in the East Coast time.
Yeah.
'Cause I couldn't go to sleep until after midnight.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
here I
Because
sleep
here you
after
sleep after
midnight.
midnight here.
Yeah, which means I would have to stay up until 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And when you're exhausted,
Yeah.
but you still don't feel like sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
that sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I had a lot of energy. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah. I was trying to tell you, it's like you should sleep a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
those things like survivalist stuff, it's a lot of it. You have to do it you're pretty much like working with the sun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're working with the sun because like if it's dark out, it's best for your own safety. It's best to sleep during the dark times because
That's true.
you don't have as much light.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the stuff we did,
Mm-hmm.
we needed to have light.
Yeah, it's like actively very dangerous to be out like doing stuff at night because you can get lost easy. Let's see.
And yeah, so okay, so going to bed earlier,
Yeah.
like at least 3 hours earlier.
Yeah.
I wish I started that like at least 2 weeks before the trip, so it's more like part of my sleep schedule.
Yeah.
And then drinking more water. Yeah, so those 3 things.
Yeah.
Weight training.
I think
sleeping.
nowadays you tend to drink a lot more water now.
Yeah, I'm more conscious of it now.
Yeah, like when you
Yeah.
do something like physically extraneous, you realize how much water like the body kind of needs to like
Yeah.
recover and like how helpful it is.
Yes.
Like I'd say that a workout with water versus without water, like it's so much harder without water, you know. Like water helps me get through maybe like the last like 20% of my workouts
Okay.
or
Yeah.
25% of my workouts. It's not, I mean, actually for me, I feel like that is a big difference, like 20%, like being able to work 20% harder. Well, rather than like getting too tired, rather than getting too tired.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the pre. I got way more equipment and like little trinkets
than you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have time to do any of the things. Like
yeah.
I brought wipes.
Yeah.
You don't have time to wipe.
Yeah.
Plus it freezes.
Yeah, everything like you brought like froze, right?
Yeah. And I had this like feminine like where you can pee standing up kind of thing.
Yeah.
You don't have
time
like
to even
to like get the thing and oh my gosh. Yeah, and like the actual like real life lived experience. There's just no time to do anything. I was planning on journaling every night.
But
there's no time.
There's no time. There's no light.
Yeah, there's so much work we have to do as a group.
Yeah.
Just for like we have to like set up the shelter, cook food, boil water. Oh, okay. So I guess now we're talking about what happened during.
Yeah.
So okay, so the first night, or like the first day, we got picked up from our lodging, in Duluth, Minnesota. And then they took us to the airport, and then from the airport we picked up the rest of the folks.
Yeah.
And then we had a 2-hour trip driving to Ely. And that's where like it's like the wilderness kind of thing, like the countryside area.
Yeah. Woodsy stuff.
And the snow is so deep. Like when I was like trying to find the hotel or the lodging, so they just like scrape the snow off. They don't care if it's like on the pedestrian walkway.
Oh yeah.
And somehow, like it's just regular cars driving on ice, black ice, like, and they don't slip.
They're used to it.
Yeah, they know how to drive in it.
They know how to drive in it.
Yeah.
Where us is like we don't know how to drive in it.
No, that would.
Also, I think in Minnesota, isn't it more flat?
It is flat.
Yeah, it's more flat. Like here, like there's so many hills everywhere. There are no straight roads.
Yeah.
So like you actively have to turn more.
That's true.
Right. There's like it's not like we kind of go on autopilot when we drive here. Where like, oh yeah, turn, you know, like just follow the wavy roads.
Yeah.
But like in other places, other states, it's like, oh, they go really on autopilot, which is they don't even need a turn.
That's true. Yeah, it's flat and the whole like block system.
Yeah.
It's actually like blocks.
Yeah, it's actually blocks.
The streets
than, like,
are
weird,
blocks. Yeah.
Like circular
dead ends
roads.
And places.
Yeah.
And,
we got roundabouts here too.
Oh yeah, they're building more roundabouts.
Yeah.
I've noticed. Like
I like roundabouts personally.
Yeah.
For me, it's better than a 4-way stop. But
yeah, and then so we went on a 2-hour road trip to the camp base, and they have like lots of cute cabins there.
Yeah.
So the first thing we get there, like you start the whole expedition right there.
Yeah.
Like it starts right there. They teach you about layering, the basics of staying warm.
Yeah.
Which is eating enough food.
Yeah.
We had to have like ideally at least 6,000 calories a day.
That's a lot.
It is.
It's hard to eat that lot.
Yeah,
it's hard
it
to eat that
was
lot.
so much food. Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of it's like the type of food. Like eating calorie dense food is like, you know, I mean, meat helps out.
It does, yeah.
Like if you eat meat, that helps out with the calorie count like real fast.
Yeah. They brought blocks of cheese and salamis.
Yeah.
And fruits. I loved the dried fruits.
It's kind of also crazy hard because you're so used to eating a low carb diet.
Yeah.
Because here we've been eating pretty low carb.
Yeah.
Because most of the time we don't even really need the carbs for our day to day. Is this so like day to day like we eat around roughly like 2,000 or less.
Yeah.
And we eat healthy too, so it's actually really hard to eat like a very high calorie diet.
We
Like,
eat a lot of like curries and
we eat a lot of like rice,
fish.
beans, fish, you know, so those really aren't that high in carbs. And you've been like removing gluten from your diet, so that's like
Yeah.
that's like no breads or like pastas.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I was super impressed with Outward Bound School is they really cater to specific diets,
Yeah,
like gluten-free, pescatarian, vegan.
yeah.
They buy like a lot of like they made ice cream for us.
Dang.
Yeah.
Ice cream's like, thinking about it, like, man, ice cream's like the last thing I want to eat. But at the same time,
not
it's like
not during the expedition. Like
Yeah.
when we got done
When
and
you
we
got
got
done, yeah.
back,
okay.
they gave us like
Still like when it's
Sweets and
super
all
cold.
this.
But yeah, you get sweets as like a reward for doing it. And, like
Yeah.
part of it's like, oh yeah, the body just wants sugar, you know.
yeah
The body
'cause
just wants sugar.
we had hot chocolate, coffee, a bunch of sweets in the trip. Like it
Yeah.
helps with calories.
It helps with calories. Sweets,
Yeah.
sweets,
And
are,
energy.
sweets are another way to get a bunch of calories as well.
Yeah.
That's when you look at. They always have like these videos on YouTube that are like, oh, this is 600 calories of blueberries versus 600 calories of cookies, and like the blueberries are this giant bowl.
Oh, okay.
Right, this is huge giant bowl, which is which would be extremely hard to eat. Right, versus like 600 calories of cookies or just like a couple cookies. So like you can easily eat like a couple cookies,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
hard to eat like 600, like
Yeah.
that amount of quantity and calories and like vegetables and fruit.
That's true. They have more volume.
Yeah, they have more volume, they have more
yeah.
fiber, they have more physical space to like for your
We
body
did
to like
take
process.
a lot of fruits and vegetables though.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's how I was able to not get hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, or not
Yeah.
hemorrhoids, but like a constipation.
doesn't constipation cause hemorrhoids?
It can, but hemorrhoids is when your butt's actually bleeding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It gets to that point pretty fast for me.
Oh, okay.
When I don't consume enough
Fiber.
fiber
Yeah,
or
okay.
fluids.
Yeah. Fluids is also another thing that's like important too, because it helps like moisturize everything in your gut.
Yeah. And
If everything's dry in your gut, then like it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be rough.
that's true. Yeah, and there needs to be like movement in your guts. Like you need to stretch it, do the cat cow, all that
Yeah.
stuff. It really helps. So yeah, they taught us the basics of staying warm, high calorie diet, 2 liters plus of liquid,
Yep.
and movement. And then there's like they have numbers for the layers of clothing you have.
Yeah.
So when you go to bed, when you go into your sleeping bag, so we layer 2 sleeping bags, two Sub-Zero ready sleeping bags,
Yeah.
and then you're supposed to strip down to your layer, like the inner layers
Okay.
before you sleep, because I slept in like 4 layers
Yeah.
and I was like shivering.
Yeah.
Because the sleeping bag warms up your clothing, the top 2 layers,
Yeah.
instead of warming your body.
Okay.
So, the very first night we sleep outdoors under a tarp. And I'm like, wait, there's no walls. There's no like protection from the wind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, what did I sign up for? What's going on? What did I do to myself?
Yeah, I think the one worry that I had for you wasn't like you were going to be injured or anything like that. My worry was that you're gonna like quit and like go home early. And I was like, well, I was like in my mind I was like there might be the possibility of like
That I would show up,
you would
or like
you
I'll
would
call you,
me. Yeah, you would call me early.
and I'm like, can you pick me up
Yeah, exactly.
on like a Wednesday
Yeah,
instead of
exactly.
a Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then when that thought comes into my mind, I'm like, I can do hard things. I can do hard things. I could do this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm representing all the Black women and girls out there.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool that you like succeeded in doing it though. Like,
yeah.
I think it's like really cool, and not a lot of people can do that. It is really cool. I can't say like the like BA word because it's YouTube.
BA?
You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where you gotta turn down the swearing sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, I was... Yeah, it was like psychological, emotional, physical...
It toughens you up, both like physically and like
it was a challenge.
Emotionally, right?
Yeah, because it's constant work.
Yeah.
When you stop working, that's when you start freezing.
Yeah, that's when it gets really cold. So like you just start distracting yourself.
Yeah, and I kept getting cold really easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like my fingers would just like curl up.
Yeah.
That's how cold it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like just like shaking and like my brain starts to shut down.
Yeah.
And thankfully there were like 2 middle-aged white women who noticed I was in distress.
Yeah.
Because I was just like not moving. I would just freeze. And just like stand in place and like look at the distance.
Yeah, because you whenever you have, I notice with you, whenever you get into a flight mode, your flight mode is usually like freeze up.
Yeah, I don't do anything.
You tend to just freeze up and not do anything.
Yeah, like my brain is like in conflict. It's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
My perfectionist.
And then like personally for me, I think like the fight part, which is like you gotta do something, is like, you know, you that's also like the way, especially when you're out there, like you have to be doing something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's just the way that I deal with trauma.
Yeah.
And just like childhood stuff. I think that's what explains that I just like freeze up and I'm like, what's next? Someone has to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what to do.
Yeah, like you, with you, like you do better when someone orders you to do something.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And that was like the compliment people gave me, that I followed orders easily.
Yeah.
That would make a good soldier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the first night, and then we go pack up, do our last minute, restroom stuff. Because after that, we have to pee and poop outdoors.
Yep.
And then...
And, like, because you're drinking a lot of water, you gotta pee a lot. You gotta pee a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was not drinking enough. That was an issue. Another issue that, like, an instructor, he kept being like, I'd be like, oh, I'm so cold. He's like, are you drinking enough water?
Yeah.
Have you drank your 1 Nalgene bottle?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. And
I have to do that to you. Like, here. Like, I'm just like, hey, have you drinking your water or your liquids right now? And you're like, yeah. I had a cup. I had a little cup. I'm like, you need to drink more than that.
Yeah, yeah. 1 cup does not suffice. I don't know how many cups is in 1 liter, but that's
it's like 12 ounces.
Way more. Way more cups than just 1.
Yeah.
But
and it's crazy because like normal camping, like just regular like tent camping, the recommended is 1 liter a day.
Oh, okay.
So like for you, in that thing where they're like 2 liters a day. That's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot. Like
it is a lot of water.
That's a lot of water. You're paying a lot, like that. But I can see why you need that much water. You need water. Water is actively like more important than food for the human body. Like we can go like 2 weeks without eating. I think roughly for human bodies, we can't last more than a week without water. So water is much more important.
Yeah, and when you're doing that kind of fasting, you can't be moving.
Yeah.
Doing the kind of stuff we did at the expedition.
And you have to eat. By the way, I bet the food tasted really good.
Oh, even though warm?
Yeah, when it's warm, you're out in the cold.
You're like, ah. And then the water was good when it was hot.
Yeah, after you like exercise a lot, like after you do something like physically strenuous, like food tastes so good. Yeah. You're like, oh, I needed this so much, right?
Yeah, yeah. So after the first night, we pack up, and then we go to the dog yard.
Mm.
And then
So many
that's
dogs.
the dog sledding part. You have to
Yeah.
like take care of the dogs, feed them, pick up their poop, make sure they don't like attack each other, because like
Yeah.
there's two groups of dogs.
Yeah.
There's two sleds. The sleds are incredibly heavy,
Yeah.
and then there would be two people on the sleds holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
That part I did not know. Like
Yeah.
I thought there would only be one person per sled.
Yeah.
We learned how to like pack sleds, you know,
Uh-huh.
appropriately, like with the heavy stuff
Yeah.
more at the back,
Uh-huh.
and then in the front is where the dogs are.
Yeah.
So, you have to pick the specific dogs for the specific sleds. And then pick them up so they're walking on their hind legs.
Yeah.
Because if they're on all fours,
are
they're gonna
bolt.
like
They're gonna bolt. They're trained to like just go.
they will just like, you'll be like, what is it, like the cartoonish like
Yeah.
thing, like trailing behind a
Yeah.
car or something. Just
Okay.
they'll bolt.
Yeah.
They know how to like pull 200 to 300 pounds. And I was like, I went on my face the first time I picked up a dog.
Yeah.
It went on both, like on its front legs.
Yeah.
And just like bolted. And I was like still holding on, thankfully.
Yeah.
So anyways, and then you have to pick them up into that like little, you know,
Yeah.
thing that they take them in.
Uh-huh.
And then take them down, put the harness on them.
Yeah.
And you always have to have them on a leash.
Yeah.
You don't want them to run away.
You don't want them to run away.
Yeah.
You don't want them to run away.
They're very friendly to humans.
Yeah.
They're very particular on like their hierarchy.
Okay, yeah.
Like there's the alpha, whatever, and like they're always like
Yeah.
competing for who's in the
Yeah.
front and stuff like that. So you have to like make sure none of the ones who are competing or in conflict get within their comfort zones.
Yeah.
You have to make sure of that. So anyways, so we hook them up, and then we take off. So the dogs follow the trail that the skiers make.
Yeah.
So the skiers have to go like 30 minutes ahead of us.
Okay.
And then we waited. I was on the second sled.
Okay.
So I was with a middle-aged woman, and like you have to go like, ready dogs? Or okay, you have to go low voice and then high tone.
Yeah.
So they don't know what the words mean, but
Okay.
you're like,
It's
ready
the tone.
dogs.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, because dogs can understand different frequencies. They don't understand like the specific words.
Yeah.
So it's like very much like the tone is probably
tone.
like, yeah.
Yeah. So when you're putting on the harness and putting the dogs on the leash on the line, and then they're like, the line is taut because
Yeah.
like the front two dogs,
Yeah,
you
they're
put them
going,
on first,
yeah.
and they're always like "Ugh,
They're super tight.
let's go,
And,
like they're
you're
so
holding on,
energetic.
yeah.
And then you put on the remaining like 4 or 3 dogs,
Yeah.
and then you lift the sled. So the
Yeah.
sled with all the heavyweight stuff
Yeah.
is sideways on the
Okay.
ground. So they can't pull it sideways.
Yeah.
Because like at the bottom of the sled is very
Yeah.
smooth. So that's what allows them to like
Okay.
carry all that weight. So this like someone has to like lift it, and the other person is on top of the sled on like one edge,
Yeah.
and you're pulling.
Yeah.
And as soon as it's like what is it called?
Lift it up. Like,
yeah, like a tiny bit, they're off. So you have to like.
You have to hold on.
Oh my god, yeah.
You have no.
My shoulders.
How
Oh
like
my
how does it compare to like a car? Like how fast do you feel like you're going?
Oh, not that fast, but
I mean,
fast
like,
enough that
20
you don't
miles,
want them
like
to leave
20
you.
miles an hour
Yeah.
is like really fast.
It is.
Actually.
So they would go like 10 to 20 miles.
Okay, so like a bike,
Yeah.
like a bicycle, pretty much if you're bicycling.
And you can jog next to them,
Yeah.
but then
You're
if they
jogging
leave
in the
you,
snow. Yeah, like jogging in the
that's it.
snow is
Yeah.
hard too.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, like
and the boots are heavy and like bulky.
yeah, yeah.
And so you gotta hold on.
Yeah.
So
Like,
yeah.
That's like something where I'm like, man, I wish I had a helmet.
Oh yeah, we didn't
yeah,
have
you didn't
helmets.
have helmets, but yeah, like,
or any pads.
yeah, because like when I bike 20 miles an hour, I am feeling like, man, I am going so fast. I need a helmet in case I like crash into something.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I fell off the sled like so many times. Like
Yeah.
I became an expert at like
Falling.
just falling.
Yeah.
The only time I got like seriously like hurt.
Yeah.
Well, not seriously hurt. Like I still have a bruise
Yeah, you have bruises.
in my inner thigh.
Yeah.
Is like they put what are they called? They're like it's called polk, Polk.
Yeah.
They're the like sliding like plastic things that the skiers take with them to
Yeah.
make the trail.
Okay.
Because that the dogs follow
Follow the trail, yeah.
trail in the snow. So 2 polks were tied to the sled.
Yeah.
And there's like a bungee cord of sorts that's that the polks are tied to.
Yeah.
And I realized that's why I kept falling, because like the bungee cord would, so I'm standing on like one part of the sled,
Yeah.
like the thing, like the wooden part that sticks out that you stand on.
Right.
So one person would stand on one and the other person would stand on the other. So 2 feet on like 1.5 feet of wood. So the bungee cord was on top of the wood,
Yeah.
and it would just like go under my feet.
Yeah.
Whenever we turned, it would
Uh-huh.
just like take me off my feet and I would
Okay.
fall. So the one time I fell, and then I didn't realize there's 2 polks behind,
Oh yeah.
and then it like
Oh dang! Ouch.
clipped my inner thigh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
No.
There's tricks to just keeping balance and not falling. One is just like bend your knee, have your knees always bent a bit, have like a wider stance.
You can't really have a wide stance because you
Yeah.
have to like you're standing on, okay, like I have my forearm,
Yeah.
you're standing on this
Yeah.
much.
But yeah, like keeping your body low also.
Yeah,
helps
I did
too.
that too.
Yeah, keep it, because like the higher you stand up tall, like the less stable your like center of gravity will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to like negotiate, okay, the other person is holding like the center because that's the most stable part.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I guess I'm holding the outer edges.
Yeah.
So that there's that too. So you have to like take care of yourself. It's a course where you
have to
learn
take care
how
of
to
yourself.
Speak up for yourself.
Yeah, you have to take care of yourself in order to take care of others.
Yeah. Because it slowed people down when I kept falling. Because I wasn't speaking up and telling them, the other person, okay, I need to hold, like, at least one hand has to hold the center of the holding area. Okay, so on the second night, we get, like, 1 or 2 miles in to our trip. So we had planned on going like around a peninsula or something. Like there's so many lakes in Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's called the tagline for the state is 10,000 lakes.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Okay.
And so we we make camp the first night. The instructors decide, okay, this is where we put the dogs. And then for the dogs, you have to like put in stakes into the ice.
Yeah.
Like, you have to dig into the ice and like bolt in like a stake into the ice. Anyways,
yeah,
that's hard too. And then they are put on. You take their leashes off or their harnesses off. Make sure they're not they're healthy. So you do a vet check. You feed them, and then you move on to like setting up shelter, and then setting up fire. First, you have to like. There's a lot of time for wood preparation.
Yeah.
You have to go into the woods, pick like small branches for like the sparkly like energetic fire.
Yeah.
There's bark.
You need tinder and then like the wood to like keep it running.
Fuel and a spark.
Yeah.
Like a starter. Oh gosh, I forgot the name of the tree, but there's a bark that like when you peel it off, it looks like paper.
Oh, okay.
Birch
Birchwood.
bark. I can show you when I see it outdoors.
Okay.
So you have to pick it from a dead tree.
Yeah.
Or it hurts it when you're like peeling layers off. So we go off, collect wood. There was one day where we learned how to cut a tree down.
Yeah.
I brought a wedge of what I cut
Nice.
here. So you make a wedge. So you cut in horizontally. It's called horizontal, right?
Yeah, horizontal.
1/3 of the width of the tree, and then you go sideways from top
like you make
to bottom.
a wedge. Yeah, you make like a wedge pretty much.
And then first you have to decide where to put the wedge based on which way the tree is leaning, because you want to have it fall in a clear area. You know, you don't want other trees to like obstruct its fall. And then make sure you know your exits.
Yeah.
Like if it falls a weird way, whenever it starts falling, you scream timber.
Yeah.
And then you run.
Yep.
So anyways, you cut the wedge, and then at the like horizontal middle part of the edge, you cut the other way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we learned how to saw a tree into smaller pieces for burning.
Yeah.
Get like small to medium pieces. And then we have matches. Then you burn the birch bark.
Yeah.
And then the smaller branches would like
Okay.
get us started. What else? So we would go like 150 feet into the river.
Yeah.
Which is frozen, like at least 1.5 foot of it is like solid ice.
Yeah.
You go and like you dig for water. You boil it. There's no filtering.
Yeah.
For bugs. And the water is like this like
delicious,
light brown,
more protein.
Light
more
brown.
protein.
I didn't notice until like the third night or something.
Yeah. Oh, cool! This water's flavored.
It has this like chamomile flavor actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is flavored. And then one day it was like daytime, and usually when they put hot water in the Nalgene's, it's always covered with a foam.
Okay.
So you don't actually look at the water, what's inside it. You just drink it.
Yeah.
And then I pull it out, and then I see like these like floating insects in it, and I was like, this whole time. Oh my gosh.
Yum, delicious protein.
It's like the little thingies that the fish eat.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Plankton.
Plankton?
It's like plankton.
Okay.
Algae. Like little like small organisms and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're like translucent like thingies, just like
they
just look like seahorses.
Yeah. But yeah.
And I think it was midway where there was one of the middle-aged women decided to go back
Yeah.
for like she had a lot of bruises.
Uh-huh.
And then a buff dude, a buff white dude also
Yeah.
decided to go because he was like, yeah,
He
this
probably
is
didn't
not
want to
what I
do.
expected.
I think he might be the type that like likes to do outdoorsy stuff, but like solo.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
He enjoys doing solo stuff, and he's not into like
The team.
Yeah, the team
stuff.
dynamics or like being told what to do.
Yeah.
So I understand. So personal
Mhm.
reasons,
Mhm.
they both left,
Yeah.
and that delayed our like.
Trip because you had to wait for them
Yeah.
to like come back.
So that day we didn't go to another location.
Okay.
So I think we spent like 3 nights in
Mhm.
one spot.
Yeah.
So we didn't go as far as what we thought we would
Okay.
go on the
Yeah.
map.
Mm.
Which was kind of disappointing, but
Yeah.
at the same time I was like, oh god,
You're too tired.
there was a bit of a break for me.
Yeah. That's good.
Much needed break. And then we had our solo nights. That's where you go off
Go off a bit.
into your own spot. They assign you the spots.
Yeah.
Mine was the closest to the main camp.
Okay.
And then you're supposed to
Survive.
make fire, cook your own dinner,
Yeah.
make your own shelter, make sure you don't freeze to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also like boil water
Yeah.
for your
Cool.
Nalgene bottles.
Nice.
And what I learned is, so we don't dig
Yeah.
for our solo nights. That would be a nightmare. Because I did digging 2 nights.
Yeah.
And it was so hard. Like
Yeah.
the iron itself is like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
You're just like going
Boom.
down
Boom.
forever until like water starts bubbling up and
Yeah.
you're like, yes, that's like the biggest accomplishment, it feels like. But anyways, so the solo night I spent 2 hours figuring out where to
Where to
set
like
up my
set up? Yeah.
so we get one tarp
Uh-huh.
and mats for our backs, and then sleeping bags and all the other stuff that we came with, and we get twine to tie the stuff on branches.
Yeah.
And mine was basically a burrito. Like I didn't have enough room to sit up. So, but it was nice and cozy.
Yeah, it's nice and cozy. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a blizzard that night. It was really cold. I think it was like maybe it was the night of like the negative 25.
Yeah, because you went during like record-breaking cold for like a lot of the United States. Like it was cold here.
Oh, okay.
In like.
Did it
where we
snow?
live. A little bit. Not like enough that like I really pay attention to it. Because there's like snow that like for us we get snow, but a lot of times it just melts like midday.
Yeah.
So like I don't count that as snow.
Yeah.
So nothing like snow that was like permanently there.
And as far as like bio waste, like peeing, you can pee anywhere.
Yeah.
And then for pooping, you have to go into the woods 150 feet. The place where my solo was, like it was a steep forest.
Yeah.
And the snow is super deep. Anyways, so yeah, it was successful. I was able to get my fire started like with the first match. And then when I boiled water, I was gonna mention that. So we were supposed to melt the snow.
Yeah.
And when you put in the snow in the little pot, you're supposed to put in some water. Or the snow is going to burn.
Okay.
It needs some kind of liquid. There was nothing to hold the pot over the fire.
Yeah.
So I was like holding it with a stick.
Yeah.
And it kept spilling. I'm like, no! And then it would like, what is it? Douse the fire.
Yeah.
That I was like, I'm working really hard to keep alive.
Yeah.
And I spilled some of my food too. But then I'm like, oh, whatever. The stick is.
The stick's not going to be enough.
Like the little rice spaghetti.
Yeah.
That spilled out.
Yeah.
I just like used a stick to put it back in
the
the pot.
You're like, whatever, eat off the ground. You're like, eat off the ground.
Yes. My tolerance for dirty stuff.
Yeah.
Just like.
It's not gonna kill you.
Yes, it's not. Like, I just didn't care. I was like, I need food. I actually need calories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, just do it this way, like this.
And then when the fire, like, there's like smolder or whatever, like the little smoky bits.
Yeah.
They would get in the food and the water, and I'm just like, okay.
I just eat whatever.
More flavor.
Yeah, it's so funny because whenever I cook at home, there's like a little bit of like brown or something. Like, oh no.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm so picky normally, and then so when you go out when you're in the snow in the cold.
Yeah.
And you need to wear prescription lenses.
Yeah.
Take contacts. That was. I'm so glad that I got contact prescription because I regularly don't wear contact lenses.
Yeah.
I just rely on my glasses because it's more convenient.
Yeah.
And I don't need to worry about like little dust and
other stuff. But then
I didn't feel anything. I just put it in.
Yeah. Like your tolerance is like increased a lot when you're out there.
And the contacts would freeze.
Yeah.
And that would warp the contacts.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was wearing it now in like my comfort zone,
yeah.
I would not be able to wear it.
Yeah.
But might have destroyed, the contacts that I took. But anyways, when I wore my glasses, the fog from my breath would like
condense your glasses.
Yeah, and it would like create frost on it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like I've had this happen to me when I like exercise really hard. When I'll go out to do exercises, and then when I come and I'm like, I work out hard, right? Mm-hmm. So like I feel the heat, and when I go outside, I feel the heat coming out of my body. And then I get in the car and I put my glasses on. My glasses fog up. Yeah. Because like myself am emitting heat. That, the car, it's like, and I'm out in the cold, so like my glasses fog up.
Yeah. Imagine the fog turns into...
Yeah, and then this fog turns into ice.
To frost.
Yeah, that's something I haven't experienced.
And then it gets so cold that like you get sniffly. Mm-hmm. And like you don't have enough time to like wipe your snot. Like you don't have enough toilet paper to waste on wiping your nose.
You could use that toilet paper for something else.
Yeah. To wipe your ass.
Yeah.
And then I figured out like midway or like past midway that I can use the snow to wipe my ass.
Yeah, nice. It's like it's a bidet right there.
A cold bidet.
It's a cold bidet.
I don't need to use our precious toilet paper. Yeah, bring toilet paper with you.
Yeah, toilet paper has so many uses. You can use that for Tinder, or as a starter almost.
Oh.
Like in combination with like other stuff. But you can like have the toilet. I've done this before. Where I was like, I have toilet paper, and I just like get like pieces of toilet paper, mix it with like some Tinder, like some like bigger pieces, If I didn't have enough like starter, and I just use toilet paper. I just use like toilet paper.
To start the fire?
Yeah, if I had like a match or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we like once you wipe your ass, you put it in a brown paper bag. Yeah. And you can burn that in the fire.
Yeah, nice.
But like the paper roll kept going down because everyone would just like take rolls.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Man, there are people who like use way too much toilet paper to like do stuff. You only need
regularly people use a lot.
Regularly I try to limit myself to 2 sheets.
Oh God, that's too little.
At a time, you know.
It needs to be really thick for that.
Yeah, like 2-ply. I always get good toilet paper.
Mm,
Right. But then that's why I don't need as much of it.
okay.
Because if you buy like here's a tip.
Oh, it's because you have a bidet.
Yeah, I also have
and
a
you
bidet.
just use well, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
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 But we didn't have
Yeah.
bidet.
You have the snow. You have the snow.
I told that to other people and they're like,
Yeah.
no.
Don't use as much toilet paper. It's great.
Yeah.
Man, there are times where we go to a hotel and they don't have a bidet, and I'm like, I feel so dirty. Like I feel like it's like does not feel clean at all.
Yeah.
Like we went to Hawaii and Hawaii had bidets, and I was like, good.
Oh, older toilets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they have a lot more Japanese,
Yeah.
like Japanese tourists.
Yeah,
so-
apparently in the 90s or something, it was like mostly Japanese
Yeah.
tourists.
Mhm.
And then, so the infrastructure changed.
Yeah.
So, let's see, what else? The food was good,
Mhm.
and it made my poop really smooth. And one time I had hot cocoa in a
Yeah.
thermos. Oh,
Yeah.
bring a thermos
Yeah.
for your hot drinks.
Mhm.
And then I like poured it out on the snow.
Yeah.
And then I told this guy, I was like, look at this. Someone had diarrhea. And he's like, oh. And then I waited a few more seconds to be like, oh, I'm just kidding. It was my hot cocoa.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Like stuff like for me, when I go camping, I don't normally eat like instant noodles or like cup noodles or like cup noodles, like of like instant noodle varieties. Cup noodles is like one of my less favorite ones. You know, it doesn't taste as good to me. But when I eat outside in the camping, that's like the best tasting food in the world.
Cup noodles with those measly dried vegetables.
Dried vegetables or dried like shrimp or something like that, and just like, oh, it tastes so good though.
Yeah.
Or and it's like super salty.
Yeah.
You know, like out there, and you're like, oh, I needed this salt.
Apparently, so I took salt pills.
Yeah.
So it has like magnesium, all kinds of like, it has caffeine and potassium, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was not a good idea.
Yeah.
Like,
you need to drink a lot of water with that.
I think it's like affected my like I got
When you
swollen.
when you said you weren't drinking enough water, then that probably wasn't a good idea to
take salt pills.
Because you need the water with the salt. That's the thing. You need the water with the salt. Otherwise, the salt just dries you up.
Yeah. Like, I still have, like, this lingering, like, tingly feeling in my toes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, my fingers bloated up, and then it started cracking.
Yeah.
But then the lotion I brought got frozen.
Yeah.
So I couldn't put anything on it.
Yeah. You just kind of had to, like, you just can't do
Yeah.
much. That's also why you needed to drink water too. Like, it's for your skin to hydrate and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
But I
after
think
seeing those plankton or whatever those were, I was like, less
inclined to drink. But like you have to, because like that's why your skin was cracking, because like you
for
weren't getting enough-
survival, I have to.
Yeah,
I have to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the Outward Bound has this motto of like they have this book of like quotes about outdoor stuff, being alone and courage and teamwork and all that stuff. And after you read a quote, you say, "Take care of yourselves," and people reply back, "We take care of each other."
Yeah.
So it's like outdoor stuff. You have to keep in mind. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. Because, like, people, even if it is, then being selfish is good.
Yeah.
Because you're not
alive.
going to be like losing limbs and
Right.
because it was really cold.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cold, and I guess so. After the 2 people left, after that we kept sleeping in a tent,
Yeah.
a big tent.
Okay.
Yeah. There was like a sauna situation created.
Yeah.
It didn't protect us from the temperature.
Mm-hmm.
It protected us from the wind
Yeah.
and the snow.
The wind and the snow are what really get you really cold.
Yeah. During my solo, I was able to use one of the mats as the third wall, right next to the mossy area.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute! I wish I took a picture, but like my camera died.
Yeah.
When I was filming my solo. Anyways, another item I wish I took was the pebble, the pebble battery. I forgot it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could have been. I would have taken way more pictures. What else? So then, near the end, after we didn't have 2 people, there was more work.
Yeah.
Like, less wood was picked. The fire couldn't stay alive because like no one was paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Like we had to have just things slowed down.
You're down 2 people too.
Yeah. And then like the night before the end, it was so windy. Like the place we stopped at, it was like wind from all directions. And super cold. Maybe it was, anyways, it was below 0.
Yeah.
And then the next day we start up. I only had a sandwich, a little gluten-free bagel with like, and like it's called textured protein patty.
Yeah.
It tasted so good. Like they make it themselves.
Oh, nice.
So, and they didn't give us the recipe. We kept asking for it.
Yeah.
But it tastes really good.
That's cool.
I'll have to figure out what they were doing. I'll email them. But I only had that. I didn't have second breakfast. So I was already like going downwards, like, and then like we skied across. I was super tired, and then I didn't know it was super close by, like the end point, the pickup point. We get there, like once we got up the little hill, the other like middle-aged white woman, she like pushed me off the and then I think that was the trigger, like the emotional trigger, like shit, I was pushed off actively. And then I just like started spiraling downwards. And then we had food. We unpacked, and we were supposed to like do things really fast, like clean all the dishes, all the pots and pans, bleach it, all that stuff. Clean all the cups and Nalgene bottles, put all our wet stuff on the line. So I did all that. So I was like running on empty by that point. And then we go to lunch. And then I have this like bowl of tomato soup, and I'm like eating it with my fingers. And like my eyes are so red. I was able to like look at myself in the like small mirror.
And you're like, man, I look like shit.
Yeah.
You look terrible.
Dark circles, like the deepest, darkest circles under my eye. My eyes are red. Like I've been crying and puffy. And like my skin looks horrible. All acne, and like it was gray, and so they didn't have mirrors. Like where you first come in as a student. Because I guess like to like not have you be vain. So all like your crusty eyelids and all that stuff, you don't care. Like So, yeah, the pushing of the sled, and then I went into a warm car. I was like, oh god.
Oh, and you fell asleep in the car.
I was like trying to stay awake.
Yeah.
It was so warm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm almost home.
Yeah.
So my mind must have been like, okay, now you can just like pass out.
Yeah.
And you're safe. You're not going to freeze to death.
Yeah.
And then we put the dogs back to their yard.
Yeah.
So that was another thing of like
Physical, like, do.
And then
Yeah.
you can't see me, but I'm like
Moving,
shaking. They were nice dogs.
Yeah.
They're like, I was nervous about the dogs because they're huge.
Yeah.
And they looked like the dog that bit me in the ass. I don't know if I still have a scar from it. I can't see. Okay. Okay, that's good to know.
I would know.
So, anyways. So, we put the dogs back, we go to lunch, and then people were speaking to me, but I wasn't responding.
Yeah.
And then the instructor, I'm like eternally grateful for him because he was like, what do you need from us?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to not speak to anyone and be alone for a while. And then he's like, okay, you can go sit over there. And I just like got up. I didn't even clean up after myself. I just like sat in front of this like fire and it was so comfortable. Like, I mean, by my standards now in like comfortable area, the couch was like pokey and all that stuff.
Yeah, but
for that time it was so comfortable.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry. And then I just like closed my eyes. Yeah. And then they're like, okay, let's go and because we need to go and like take a sauna and do a polar dip. Yeah. And another sauna.
Because like that's actually pretty good for like muscle recovery, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we like stripped to our underwear. I put in this like, it seemed like I was coordinated. Yeah. Because I had this like neon green thermos. Yeah. With my neon green bra that I was wearing for 7 freaking days. And then I had the shorts. Yeah. They were neon green. Yeah. The first thing I did when I went to the freaking toilet was put my dirty underwear with like butt butter. There was
But yeah.
I trashed it.
Yeah.
It's never gonna see the light of day. Okay. I was planning on actually like cutting it and burning it. Yeah. As a little ceremony.
But now you're like, fuck it. F it.
Oh, another tip. Take reusable pads and a menstrual cup. Yeah. So I used the same, I think I changed it once. Yeah. But oh god, it was so dirty.
Yeah. Let's see. So you did the soak in the sauna and then you...
Yeah, apparently it's like a tradition in like cold weather cultures. So once you get hot in the sauna, you wear socks, walk outside with your socks, go and dip in the cold river. Oh my gosh, it was so cold. I was like...
Yeah.
And then
it feels colder because you just got out of
pinch my nose and go in and then go back in the sauna.
Yeah.
To warm back up. But yeah, it's like this like physical emotional release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds nice actually.
Yeah, and then we took a shower. Yeah. I took a really long shower.
Yeah. And then you go back to the airport and then
I mean after that we like go to our cabins and there was like the ceremony for graduation. We had our dinner and then we had breakfast. So basically at the cabin they cooked breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Oh dang.
For us.
Yeah.
At different times. Like
Okay.
when we first came in, we had
Uh-huh.
lunch, and then dinner, and then when we left, breakfast.
Yeah.
So and then we like I donated a few things. The outdoor Afro Nalgene bottle, I donated that
Yeah.
because I bought 2 of it,
Uh-huh.
and I feel like it'll be educational for others because they'll be like, I wonder what these places are.
Okay.
And the commonalities between all the different places is like all the places that African Americans or Black folks during segregation could have vacation at, like for going to the beach.
Okay.
And then we go to the airport. And I had food.
Yeah.
So and then I came back.
Yeah, you came back. I picked you
What
up.
did I look like?
Let's see. Yeah, you looked alright.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
look like I was
You didn't look terrible. I
a
was
zombie.
Like, I mean, yeah, you looked like you were a zombie, but you were a cute zombie.
Thank you.
Yeah, so... Yeah, you were kind of like a little bit out of it.
Yeah.
You were... I was like...
Oh my gosh, my skin looked horrible.
It was alright.
People were looking at me. I didn't realize it's because like I had like dead skin on like my cheeks, my nose. It was my first time getting sunburn.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to a restaurant because I was like, you're hungry, aren't you?
Yeah.
I was like, you eat, because I know you. Sometimes you just don't eat.
Yeah.
And I was like, did you eat? And you're like, nah. Or you had like, I had one meal. I'm like, okay, we're gonna eat.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat.
And then I get home.
And you just knock out.
I knock out.
I think you took a shower, but like you like knocked out. I think.
I don't think I took a shower.
Okay, yeah, you knocked out.
Yeah, I didn't have the energy, and then I got up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I was like feeling this like in between my my sternum area, like I was feeling that pressure.
Yeah.
During the skiing expedition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So apparently it's like puke.
Yeah.
And I go and just like.
Yeah, you just puked everything. That's such a gross sound you're putting into the microphone. I'm sorry to anyone listening to this. Jeez.
Hopefully you weren't eating. Yeah. And then like it fills the sink.
Yeah.
And then I had diarrhea at the same time. I was like,
yeah.
Shit, I have to go and like release. So basically, and then I smelled the puke and it was that tomato soup I had.
Yeah. One lesson I think you've learned from this is like you need to just drink more water too.
Yeah.
Because like the water just helps push everything like through your body.
Yeah. Maybe it would have helped me like puke during the expedition and I would have like felt better.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing too.
Yeah.
And then you slept after that night, like the next day, you like slept the entire day.
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear a peep from you. Like, I think you woke up maybe around like 4:00 p.m. a little bit. And then I immediately, because like I started cooking around like 10. Like I had like a big pot of like soup ready. Essentially, you just let it I just let it simmer all day.
And then you gave me this big bowl of soup.
Yeah, I gave you this.
Eat it.
Yeah, I gave you this big bowl, and I was like, "You eat that now.
Oh my
God. You finish it." Because you threw up the previous night.
Yeah.
And you haven't like eaten anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You eat this all."
I mean, I got down to.
Yeah, and I was like, "You're not going to be waking." And then like I was like, "I know." I'm like. You're going to, after you finish this, you're probably going to go back to sleep and not eat for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So I was like, really important for you.
I was so thirsty.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was like, you eat this, all of this, because I know like in general, you like to just like eat smaller meal, like multiple smaller menus. But it was kind of like one of those times where I'm like, you're not eating multiple smaller menus. You need to just eat your day's worth of food, like right now.
Yeah, it was a lot, but I ate most of it, I think.
Yeah, you did eat most of it. You did eat most of it.
Yeah. And then I had to like lift the bed.
Yeah, like raise the
head part, because I was still feeling like I had more to puke out. But then like a day or two later, I lowered it.
Yeah, you're fine after after a couple days.
Yeah.
You were a little bit sore, you know, to be expected, but that was.
I mean, not as sore as I expected.
Yeah.
To be sore. Like I healed pretty fast.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're more. I mean, that's the good thing about you being more active coming up to it.
Yeah.
Is that like the recovery is like not that bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like once you're used to like the cycle of like recovering and then like breaking down muscles, recovering, the soreness doesn't get as bad.
Yeah.
Like you're continually raising up your bar.
Yeah.
When you do that. So the point where like if I have a really hard workout and I'm sore, the soreness isn't that bad. Right? It can be bad. And, like, you know, like maybe I'll have like, you know, I'll like walk a little bit funny or something like that. But it's not anything like, oh, I have to.
Yeah, it won't last more than a day.
Yeah, it won't last more than a couple days. Unless I do something really crazy. Right?
Yeah, your judo is more tough.
Yeah, it's more tough, but I've gotten used to it.
And then what else? I hadn't unpacked completely until like
a couple days afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
you're just like bedridden. You're just like bedridden the entire time.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh.
Until Wednesday, from like Sunday to Wednesday.
Yeah, and then like I'm pretty sure I think. But yeah, you recovered really well, all things considering. You've had I remember times where you've like had worse recovery times.
Yeah. I took a bath.
Yeah.
And with your recommendation.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, because that was so nice. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Just like a tea bag.
Just human tea.
Yeah.
Cook yourself. Cook yourself.
Yeah. And then I was like checking out the sauna outdoors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sam's place has a sauna.
Yeah.
And then figured out the wire was cut.
Oh, okay.
Like, all the wires are cut. So.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, I think that's it. Like, I do not have much. We caught up to all the social media and all the shows.
Last of Us, Picard season 3, all of the shows that we're watching.
Yeah, we started watching Mandalorian.
Yeah, we started watching Mandalorian.
It's just one episode, right?
Just one episode right now, yeah.
Was there another episode? Is it like one per week?
Yeah, it's once per week.
So they might have one.
They might have one, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun experience for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you could do it.
And you ate all the meat.
Yeah, I ate a bunch of meat. I like had a steak. I had like a prime rib steak.
Oh wow.
Let's see. That was a simple like prime rib. I just like cooked it on a cast iron with like basted it with butter. Had a hanger steak. I ate a lot of chicken legs because you bought that big giant pack for me, and I was like, I have to eat that all. I was like, I have to eat all of this.
I mean, yeah, you can freeze it.
Yeah.
Are you going to?
Yeah, I did that already.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Already like prepped.
Perfect. Because when you tell me to buy like
drumsticks
or whatever, I'm like, okay,
I usually mean like one pack. Like I only mean like a pack that has like a couple.
Like a handful.
Four.
A handful or less.
Yeah. Like 4 or 6, not like
12. 12 chicken thighs.
Yeah, because that means I'm eating chicken thighs for a while. Because I like to I'm trying to like be better at like going through like the supply of food, you know, like not having stuff in the freezer for like months.
Oh, okay.
Because like that's been a problem.
Oh, I think we'd have to throw out.
Yeah, we have to throw out a few. We have to throw out a few things. We have to throw out a few things. I'll do that today,
But yeah, thanks for listening.
Yep.
We got into like household chore discussion.
Yeah. Yep.
Glimpse of every day for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Take care of yourselves and go outdoors. nature is
Nature's
powerful.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's much better than watching looking at a stock image on the internet.
It's emotionally healing.
Yeah. Touch grass, people.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for listening. If you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we will see you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.